Hello everyone, welcome back to Fallout. We are here in the Capital Wasteland. This is going to be the next part of the Vault-Tec series. I do apologise, it's a wee bit delayed. I had some issues with the audio on the recording and whatnot, so I'm having to do it all over again, but I had I actually had plans this weekend, so wee bit delayed, but we're here now. So today we're going to look at Vault 92, which is one of the other vaults in Fallout 3 that you don't go to for the main story, but you can go to as part of a side quest. So Vault 92 is up here in the kind of northeast corner of the map. It's next to Old Olney, and sort of directly west of the Republic of Dave, and sort of directly east of Oasis. So DC itself is down here, but we're not there yet. We're here, just kind of northeast of the Miresti train yard and near scrapyard at Agatha's house. The reason for that is that Agatha wants us to go to Vault 92 for her. So if you come to this location, it's not the easiest place to find, but you've got the kind of broken, I don't know if that's supposed to be like monorail or broken highway. I think maybe a monorail, but anyway, there's the broken kind of thing there, and then there's this little rope bridge across this sort of ravine, and then come in between the cliffs here, and we've got a little white picket fence, a radio tower, and garden gnome, damaged garden gnome, and this little house here. So we'll go in here.
Oh my, I wasn't expecting any visitors.
Hello, Agatha.
My. You certainly do look a little bit worn out from your travels. Oh, just look at my terrible manners. I'm Agatha. It's so nice to meet you. Now,
Lovely
what
to
brings
meet
you
you
all the way out here?
I was just exploring.
Honestly, there's nothing much out here. Looking for sand, rocks. We have plenty of that. You're welcome to look around this area, of course. Don't let me dissuade you. I'm just trying to save you some time. My husband built this place way out here for a reason. Rest his soul.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's kind of you to say. Yes, he's gone. After he built this place, we spent many happy years together. We decided to cut off contact with the outside world and just depend on each other for comfort and company.
So, yeah, you can be a wee bit kind of mean, but surely you haven't severed all contact.
Oh, goodness, no. I have a supply caravan that passes here maybe once a week. I trade with them for whatever I need, and I stock up enough till they return.
Okay, and what is it that you... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, don't say that. That's horrible. But what could you possibly have to trade?
Besides shelter? Well, I offer something in the way of entertainment. I play songs on my homemade violin, and people trade me goods. If not in person, I use my husband's old radio set. The men in the caravan say it keeps their morale up on lonely nights in the wasteland.
Okay, well, that's very nice, but yeah, I guess a homemade violin's never quite in tune.
You are a clever one. Yes, that's exactly the problem that I have with it. It doesn't quite play all of the notes correctly, and I have to constantly tinker with it.
Okay, so is there any way I can help, Agatha?
But now that you mention it, yes, there is. My trading depends on my violin. Without it, I have nothing to play, no way to make music. If you can bring me a violin, a better one, I'd feel much more secure.
Okay, what would you give me in return?
As you may have already guessed, I really have nothing of value. Material value, that is. All I can offer you is the same I offer the caravans that trade with me. The frequency of my radio and the promise of beautiful music.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, you can push her with the speech check, and she does actually give you a very nice, unique revolver that was her husband's, but look, granny talk is cheap. That's really mean. So we're just going to say, yep, I'll get you a violin.
Oh, I don't think I've been this happy in years. I have some information that may help you, at least a place to begin.
Okay.
It all starts with my great-great-grandmother back in 2077 before the bombs fell.
Okay, and you have records from back then?
Of a kind, yes. Hilda sent a good deal of letters to my great-grandmother Mary, who passed them on, and so forth. I suppose the correspondence could be considered a diary of sorts.
Okay.
It certainly is a long time.
It's 200
that
years.
Precious instrument has been through a lot. Anyway, Hilda was quite a special woman, classically trained and exceptionally talented at the violin. Her pride and joy was her Stradivarius violin. I can only imagine how exquisite this instrument must have been. When the war reared its head, she was invited by Vault-Tec into Vault 92. They claimed the vault would be dedicated to preserving musical talent.
So keep that in mind.
Vault-Tec was always promoting the vaults being used for the preservation of the arts and all that nonsense. Hilda couldn't pass on a chance to meet many of the other musical talents of the world, so she accepted their invitation. Then the bombs fell, the vault was sealed, and my family never heard from her again.
Okay, and how can you make sure the violin's okay after 200
She kept
years?
it in a special pressurized case. Inside the case is the perfect temperature and humidity for the instrument. If the case is still functioning, the Stradivarius would be in perfect shape. Hilda's Stradivarius was named the Soi Stradivarius. All of them had names. That's what I want you to get.
Okay.
That's the catch. I have no idea where it is. I'd suggest making your way to Vault-Tec headquarters in the D.C. ruins. That would be a good place to begin. Good luck!
Sure. So yeah, you can ask her a wee bit more about things if you want to.
Watch yourself out there.
I will. Yeah, you can ask her some more questions and things if you really want to, but I've already actually discovered where Vault 92 is, but if you haven't, and you haven't been to the Citadel yet, then you can go to the Vault-Tec headquarters in DC, and there you can find the locations of pretty much all the vaults, except for Vault 112. It was kept very secret from everybody. But we've already been there, so we're going to fast travel over to Vault 92. And for some reason it puts you nose to nose with this rock face when you fast travel here. It's very weird. But yeah, like all the other vaults in this game, they're kind of hidden away. There's just this little kind of scrappy wooden door that leads you into the cavern where the vault is. I mean, presumably Vault-Tec dug all this out to build the vaults, because they did take a few years to build, start to finish according to the dates. But yeah, you can see lots of trash, empty tin cans and things, doors wide open, the control panel's flashing red. Unsurprisingly, like most of the vaults, things didn't really end well for this place, so there's a wee stash of supplies right at the door here for some reason. I know I'm over encumbered, I'll fix it in a minute. Yeah, so again, like the other vaults we've looked at already, completely trashed, all rusty, all these broken down computers and everything, but there is an audio log here by Professor Malleus, who his name is actually the name of one of the bones that's in the ear, so
far, the experiment
gives you a bit of a hint.
exactly as planned.
But
We're subjecting the residents to extremely low frequency white noise and regular intervals through the loudspeaker system. Using the soundproof recording studios and the musicians was an inspired idea. Kudos to the Vault-Tec selection committee on their shrewdness.
So yep, that's a bit of a hint there as to what's going on here. So Agatha's told us that a lot of talented musicians, oh crap, I always forget about the mines in here. But yeah, so basically it was all kind of you know, sort of expert musicians and sort of recording studio technician type people and things that were invited to take part in this vault. There's another mine. So yeah, you think, okay, what's going on then if it's all musicians? Why is there traps everywhere? What's going on? And there's bloatflies buzzing around. I've turned the combat AI off just because I don't really want to deal with all the nonsense. Yeah, I'll start with the atrium. So again, everything's just completely knocked over. There's traps everywhere, like a big shotgun, which is nice because that means that I can repair my combat shotgun a little bit. And I've got a skeleton, and then take feedback loops, so that's a note. Okay, pass this on after you get it. Got to keep this crap off the intra-vault mails. If you can hack the control panels, use their noise flush feature to spook the crazies. Works okay, and it's kept me alive these last 2 days, but they're starting to catch on. We need to get organised and make an attempt for the vault door. It's our only chance. So, not necessarily clear exactly what's happened here, but there's a noise flush feature and something about the crazies, and basically people saying that we need to just get organised and get out. I don't know if this is the person that wrote that note or basically the last person that got said note, but they obviously didn't get very far, and I did see that mine at the bottom of the stairs, so nope, not blowing me up this time. And then yep, we come in here and we've got tables turned over, blood everywhere, skeletons everywhere, doors everywhere. So, you know, somebody definitely making a dramatic last stand. Yep, this is where we came in. So, where does this go? Sound testing, no, we're not ready for that yet. And then empty room. There we go, now we can see. So, yep, some more skeletons, blood. Door ripped off. Living quarters that way. This just takes us to the upper level. Again, there's really, in terms of loot, there's not a huge amount. There are a couple of skill books dotted about. Excuse me, bloatflies. Sheriff's office. I'll come back to that in just a second. And that's a locked door, but this one's more interesting. There we go. Okay, so energy. A lot of energy weapons in this vault, interestingly. Not really interested in the plungers or anything, to be honest. or the invisible bloatfly. Oh. Tales of a Junktown jerky vendor. Better use that skill book because my yeah, don't forget to read your skill books once you've got the perk that gives you better points from them, because they do weigh something, so they will weigh you down. Right, supply shop. So this was obviously like the kind of supply shop within the vault. Okay. There we go, got it. So we've got some emails to Richard Rubin, Overseer Vault-Tec from Gordy Sumner. This is the 5th time I've requested you allow me to release our supply of headphones and personal audio listening gear to the residents. It seems unfair that residents are required to listen to their music selections in the studio rooms. I have an ample supply of the type of equipment that would allow most residents to relax in their beds and enjoy their musical recordings. Please let me know your reasons behind this matter. So obviously this guy he's like, we've got all these headphones and personal audio listening gear, whatever form that would actually have taken, you know, sort of Walkman type things, and he's like, why can't I give them to people? Why won't you let me give them to people? People would like it, especially given that the residents of this vault are very musically focused, that they might want to listen to the recordings outside of the studio rooms. And he's like, I don't know why you won't let me do that. And then there's one from him to all the vault residents, announcing that they have strawberry pudding available for 10 work credits. So obviously they wouldn't use caps, but a limited supply, that there's strawberry pudding available, so important stuff, you know. And then to Dan Kopaczewski from Gordy Sumner, from your last mail, it seems we have a deal. I'll give you everything on your list in exchange for the weapon we discussed. Things are getting worse in this vault with almost half the residents going crazy. I just want to be prepared. Don't worry, I'll lock the gun in my safe so no one can easily trace it back to your department. So clearly, based on these numbers, a little while later, things are starting to go to pot, and people are sort of organising a way to kind of deal with that situation. So you can open the safe, which, no, laser pistol, that's not too bad. I'm not fussed about the Chinese pistol, it's not really worth very much, to be honest. But yeah, so we've got a few bits and pieces there, and again some indications of people going crazy. So that definitely seems to be the situation of what happened in this vault and where everything went wrong. So let's go and have a wee look at the Overseer's office. So yep, somebody died there. Somebody unfortunately seems to have been crushed by the door. There's no way of getting through there, I don't think. No. But we can unlock this door quite easily. Again, barricades are set up using desks and chairs and things. And there's some bedrooms with lockers. Some alcohol stashed. So I don't know if this would be like where the Overseer's family would stay, or but you know, who would actually be using but there's not much to find in most of these rooms. But we do have another audio log from Professor Malleus, This is number 2.
I'm a bit encouraged by the latest batch of data. It seems that 33% of the subjects are now lapsing into a trance-like state on occasion. When in this state, we're fairly certain that suggestion and programming of the subject can be applied. We've begun testing this by implanting subtle cues in affected subjects, making them scratch their ear or constantly fix their hair. So far, I'm happy to report a 100% success rate on this implementation method.
So, they've got people that are going into trances after hearing the white noise, and he's found that, you know, he can put like kind of post-hypnotic suggestions kind of thing. You know, just getting people to scratch their ear or fix their hair or something really simple. But it's working really, really well. That people are, you know, it's working. You know, it's effective 100% of the time. That's what the intention was. To test. So laser rifle there as well if you're looking for things. And then we've got next audio log from Professor Malleus.
Disaster today. One of our test subjects, B920717, has murdered 3 other residents in a fit of unbridled rage, the likes of which I've never seen. It took almost 23 shots before the security team took him down. This subject has no history of violence or mental instability whatsoever. My concern is that this subject is one of our most successful implant recipients, able to execute complex instructions during a trance state.
Evidence now things are starting to go wrong. Their most promising subject, who was the most responsive to the implantations during the trance, has gone mad, killed 3 people and took 23 shots from security before they were able to bring him down, which suggests a kind of berserk state for this person. And the person had no history of violence or aggressive tendencies or any kind of mental health disturbances or anything like that. So, a bit strange. And then if we have a look, this is the Overseer's terminal. So we've got a few log entries from Mr. Rubin. So, as per instructions, the broadcast equipment for the white noise has been rerouted from the sound booths and tied directly into the entire Vault's loudspeaker system. I'll now be able to execute Vault-Tec confidential plan WNMSC MSCE, white noise mind suggestion combat experimentation. I have 3 of Professor Malleus's team doing what I need to get done and hope to show some concrete results soon. I had the engineers make it so the white noise can be either triggered from the control centre or at the local security consoles. The password to these consoles is UIY2249. Next entry. The results are even better than I could ever have imagined. The sheer strength and tenacity of combat suggestion implanted test subjects is incredible. Imagine an entire army of people who would never disobey a direct order from high command and can fight until it takes over 20 bullets to stop them. So this is in response to the case that Professor Malleus mentioned in the 3rd holotape. He's just like, this is amazing, this is awesome. You know, imagine having an entire army of people like that. They'd be unstoppable. He's really excited about the possibility, which is concerning. Next one, Malleus says it's a failure, so there's been a few deaths. 1 step back, 2 steps forward. It's easy to suppress what everyone in the vault are calling crazies. I've added a command word to their suggestion implants. Simply say the phrase, sanity is not statistical, and they will stop dead in their tracks. I've informed the guards of this, but I've told them only to use it when out of earshot of anyone else. So again, he's just like, yeah, so what, a few people have died, that's fine, that's a, you know, Lord Farquaad, some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make for the sake of science and this project. He's just like, whatever, I don't care. And he's put this kind of stop command into their implantations, but obviously doesn't want anyone overhearing security using it. So yeah, then we get on to the final entry. Oh look, it's the consequences of your actions. So the command phrase is no longer working against the crazies. I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm losing control of the situation. If we don't get things under control soon, we're going to have a huge revolt on our hands. Malleus is inciting the rest of the Vault into action. I'm afraid by the power invested in me by the Vault-Tec Corporation, I have no choice but to have him killed. What a waste. So he's completely lost control of the situation now, and he thinks that Malleus is basically going to overthrow him. So he's going to get Professor Malleus taken out. Yeah. But we do get a note there, so that we've got the password for the security terminals. That's pretty much it. I say these fancy overseer's desks. So I believe that's pretty much it for the living quarters. We are into sound testing, so this is kind of where all the lab stuff happened, and there is mirelurks wandering about in here, so something just to be aware of, including mirelurk hunters, which are the more dangerous type, and plungers if you're in dire need for a plunger, I guess. But yeah, it's mostly just kind of junk that's dotted about in here. Clearly this was some kind of shop or library or something at some point. We've got a utility tunnel here, and then along here there's classroom, and projector still running, interestingly, and some spiked knuckles. Oh. And some brass knuckles. And then we've got another audio log, but that's the 5th one, so we'll keep that for later. And then this is obviously a sort of recording studio kind of thing, and same here, this looks like it's been some kind of office or classroom or something. And then another, this looks like some kind of computer room. Got some stim packs and Zoe Hammerstein's terminal. So this is Zoe's personal diary. So Zoe's thoughts. It's so wonderful to be surrounded by all this talent. Little old me, who can barely play the violin, is sitting among some of the world's greatest musicians. I still can't believe my luck. Today was great too. I was able to record an entire symphony. Haydn's Symphony No. 3 in D minor. It was so beautiful. I could barely keep up with everyone else in the string section, but they were so nice. They encouraged me instead of being stuffy jerks or something. Best of all, they record all of it and then let you hear yourself play on the studio speakers. Can't wait until tomorrow. I hear we're doing a piece from Dvorak. So obviously this young lady is feeling quite honoured to be in this vault with all this talent. And then more of Zoe's thoughts. Been feeling a little sick lately, kind of woozy after playing in the studio usually. It gets so stuffy in that place, but I'm sure it's sure worth it. I know I'm getting better just from watching my fellow violinists' techniques. They don't even mind giving me some pointers. Tonight a bunch of us girls from the string section are going down to the rec hall for a dance. I hope that cute sound guy Parker asks me to dance. He's dreamy. So again, she's feels like she's improving her skills. She's going to socialise with the other girls, and you know, she's got an eye on one of the sound techs obviously, but she does mention that she feels kind of sick after she's been playing in the studio, and she's putting it down to it just getting quite stuffy, which kind of makes sense, that if these rooms are kind of soundproofed and things, that you you know, preventing the external sound from getting in is also going to actually reduce how much heat gets out. So rooms like that probably do get quite warm, although I've never really spent much time in a recording studio, so I don't know, but I would imagine anything that's blocking sound is probably going to impact the temperature. But then things start to look a bit kind of off, so more of Zoe's thoughts, but her spelling and typing seems to be getting worse. I'm not feeling very good. I can't concentrate. I went to Dr. Benison's office, but he just said it's stress and to take it easy for a while. I think all the time I'm spending in the sound studio is making me tired. I can barely type anymore. I'm shaking so much. So, you know, given that our first 2 entries were properly spelled, properly punctuated, but here now it's like she's drunk or she's just so tired that she can't type, but it does seem to be going to pot. And then obviously this last one is barely legible. I can't even really make out what the first part's supposed to be, but help, lost mind, can't stop them, get out of my head. So yeah, she's really struggling with something and she's saying get out of my head. So possibly these kind of implantations, the suggestions that they're implanting, she's maybe trying to resist it somehow and it's really not agreeing with her. So you know, that's kind of seeing that, you know, this experiment that they've been doing is having a real impact on some of the people. And then we've got another doorway that's blocked off. I think that was the studio that we were just in. Yeah. So we're now come full circle, so we're going to go down here to the lab. This is obviously we kind of socialising room with a Mirelurk King and tons of bird books and a few bits in the refrigerator. I know there's a door that way. Here we go. So we've got a Nikola Tesla new, another audio log, lunchbox, a studio computer. So we can open the recording studio, Vault mail to the engineering staff from the studio supervisor. Hey guys, I'm not sure if this is even worth putting an official trouble ticket in for, but I'm getting some sort of odd pitch overlay on my sound equipment. It's almost like another signal is leaking from maybe the Vault intercom network or communications gear and piggybacking on everything I record. It's barely noticeable, but I could definitely see it on my scope. Do we have any cross wiring issues or faulty cable installation problems on sea level? So the studio supervisor's picking something up on his instrumentation. To Hilda Egelbrecht, so that's who we are looking for the violin of, Hilda being Agatha's great-great-grandmother. I just wanted to take this opportunity to send you an Vault mail regarding the wonderful session you performed this afternoon. The sound you coaxed from your Stradivarius is bar none the most haunting, beautiful thing I've ever heard here to date. I was wondering if perhaps we could get together tomorrow evening and discuss this in a more intimate setting. So here is Parker shooting his shot. Hi Hildy, just wanted to send you a quick note. Our session yesterday was wonderful. I'm glad the studio door's locked, otherwise some of your stuffier fellow musicians might not appreciate how closely you and I work. Make sure when we meet tonight you bring your delicate instrument and your violin too. I have an idea of something we can do with the bow, a new technique I've always wanted to try. So, yep, Parker and Hildy seem to have been working very closely together after hours. I'm just going to use that skill book quickly to lightning load. And then actually if you look here you can see this case, so that's what we're here for, that violin. And I did pick up another holotape from Professor Malleus, but we'll get back to the rest of those. But that allowed us to unlock the door. And unfortunately there are a couple of skeletons in here as well, so but there is 3, so we don't really know necessarily who they are. It could be Hilda and it could be Parker and maybe somebody else. We don't really know. The door was locked, so whether they ended up just killing themselves or they all killed each other, hard to say. But here is the Swa Stradivarius violin. So that was the goal for Agatha. But there's a few other bits to explore in this vault, so we are going to head back upstairs. I can remember how to get there. Oh wait, never mind, I forgot this. Yes, I remember. I'm trying to light. There we go. Yeah, that's just another storeroom. It is, but you know what? Now we're going to say no to some free stim packs and some free chems and a stealth boy and some ammo and some more ammo and a safe, which might have something. There's some money. Not going to say no to that. Right. This way? Yeah, this way. Right, let me see. Takes us back to the atrium. So, yeah, looks to be this is just a clinic of some kind. Of knocking over crutches. Okay. Yep, so if we go to the reactor, you can kind of hear water's not deep enough for you to drown, but obviously there's rads and there's mirelurks, so without any proper maintenance or anything, the lower levels of the vault are obviously starting to flood. And something's clearly falling apart here. But there is a terminal from the engineering, so yeah, just a kind of it's not really relevant, just something to do with amperage and lights. This one, security upgrade details overwritten, so this has been altered. Odd smell. So parallel route with waste disposal dumping system and the air conditioning ducts. So the ductwork is corroding, which is spread to the waste pipes. So the waste products are leaking into the vents. The airflow is carrying the smell. Yeah, so things not really working as they probably should be. Mold deterioration, D level. So there's an underground spring or lake that's putting pressure on the concrete walls. He's patched the stress fractures, but something needs to be done properly or we're going to flood, which is what happened. And then really snarky, this huge emergency was immediately addressed by our crack engineering team. We ran up to Professor Malleus's office and deployed the fluidic lubrication injector in an effort to stop impending doom from destroying us all. Okay, fine, we oiled his damn chair. Is this really the kind of crap that's worth submitting a trouble ticket for? So, yeah, very snarky about Professor Malleus complaining about a squeaky chair. And obviously having to send engineers to fix that. With, you know, when it basically just needed a little bit of oil. But yeah, you can see that the walls have collapsed to some degree, and that's probably what's let the mirelurks in. And I say, if you come here at a high enough level, you'll have hunters, you'll have kings, you'll have the more kind of dangerous variants wandering around. Brings us back to here. Oh, how did I do that? Okay, so we are missing an audio log from Professor Malleus though. Been through the living quarters yet, that'd be why. Yep. So I said there's mirelurks everywhere in here as well. They've obviously just begun making themselves at home in the female dormitory. Just hanging out in the bathroom. Not much in here, but a couple of little bits and pieces. So what's over here? Yeah, just a little kind of socialising space, workspace. Yeah. And we've got a male dormitory as well. So yep, we can access the intercom, but there's nobody there. But if we do the noise flush, and unfortunately this Mirelurk hunter now no longer has a face. So it only works in this particular section, I believe, but in the dormitories you can deal with the Mirelurks that are here by doing the noise flush on the security terminals, and that kills all the Mirelurks for you. So yeah, and if you come in here, there's a key code. Oh, apologies for stealing that. Might have upset the skeleton. Who's probably John Adiglio's... No, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that properly, but... So... I'm cut off and I don't know if anyone sane is left, so I've locked myself in this closet on B level. If anyone finds this note, let my family know I didn't go crazy like the rest of this place. Let them know that I died with dignity when and where I decided. There's no way I'm going to let the crazies tear me apart. I can't die like that. To my wife and kids, I love all of you. So this guy basically got backed into a corner and locked himself in a closet to end things on his own terms, which if you don't really have much other option, I think is fair enough. More dead people, but there is a room in there which... So yeah, there's a few rooms down here actually. So lots of pulse mines, pulse grenades, broken computers. Nothing of interest, nope. That's empty. Okay. Coca-Cola Quantum. And then the security terminal. So we can do the noise flush from here as well, and then we can allow access, which I believe unlocks one of these doors. That's grenades that weigh me down. Log 04, and no more encumbered again, that's fine. That's fine. So is that DC Journal of Internal Medicine? Shoot these up. Right, and then the lab terminal, so it's obviously where Professor Malleus worked. Right, let's have a listen to these audio logs then.
Unbelievable! We've had 12 more incidents in the past month mirroring subject V920717's actions. The shocking part is the savagery these aberrants exhibit when they murder. They rip their victims apart limb from limb and eviscerate them by hand. These used to be respected members of the musical community. How could this be happening? Where have I gone wrong? The situation is getting out of hand. Over half the population of the Vault is exhibiting savage tendencies. We can only assume our noise experimentation has awakened some dormant part of their psyche, brought their primitive nature to the surface. In essence, I feel that they are almost psychologically devolving. I was stupid for rushing these experiments. And now over 35 people are dead.
Okay, and then the last one, number 6.
I can't believe what I've discovered. Just before he died, one of the security team members told me everything. The Overseer has been implanting these murderous intentions in the entire Vault population without my knowledge. Using the loudspeakers in the dorms instead of just the studios, he subjected everyone to the white noise as they slept. He then implanted combat suggestions he claims came from Vault-Tec itself. He must be completely insane. No observation, no controls. I'm going to have to confront him now, and make him pay for what he's done. Half the Vault is dead. The other half, fighting for its life. Good luck to all of us. And may God have mercy on our souls.
There we go. So the Overseer was saying, oh yeah, Professor Malleus is inciting people and you know, implying that he's trying to whip everybody up into a rebellion. But there's the other side of it, is that he's seeing that people have got worse, and then it's like, well, you know, 35 people are dead now, and the situation's getting worse and worse. And then a dying security guard told him everything, and told him that the overseer's been using the white noise and the suggestions to the whole vault while everybody was asleep. And apparently that was from, instruction was from Vault-Tec directly. So Professor Malleus is like, I'm not happy about this, and then that's kind of where things end. But we have got the lab terminal here. So first kind of email to all the lab assistants from Professor Malleus. Congratulations on the job well done, everyone. It seems like the current white noise tests are a complete success with less than a 1% margin of error. We still have much to do analysing the data, but I think all of you deserve a pat on the back for the excellent work. Let's keep it up. And then an email to Richard Rubin, the Overseer. Here's the data on subject V920717 as requested. We are completely baffled as to why someone would behave in this manner after being subjected to the white noise experiments. As soon as our autopsy is complete, we'll try and piece together why he went insane. I'm sorry about this, Rick. We'll get to the bottom of it soon. So he's calling the Overseer Rick, so clearly at this point they're kind of friends, to use, you know, sort of short nicknames and things. We have a serious problem on our hands, and you have yet to answer my last several intra-vault mails or even see me. I have 7 more dead. 3 other Vault 92 residents have suffered the same symptoms as subject V920717. How many more of these people have to die before you realise we're in deep trouble? We're alone out here. No one will come to our rescue if anyone is even left. We have to deal with this ourselves. Please, I beg you, come see me immediately and call your goon squad off your living area doors. And then final email to the Overseer. Section 4 is under heavy guard now. I can't even get in without a personal escort. It's my estimate that over 30% of the Vault's entire population is now clinically insane and poses a real danger to the rest of us. We have to consider the possibility we may need to abandon the Vault completely. Better to take a chance outside than in here. You still won't speak to me, and any attempt I've made to see you have ended in scuffles with your guards. It's obvious something is going on, and I'm going to find out what. So say they obviously were buddy-buddy at one point, but then when Malleus started asking questions, the Overseer just was like ignoring him, and he eventually gets angry, and understandably so we can, if we can do, okay, well, that was easy. Don't know if this is just to open the door. Yeah. So if you don't go and get the key card, you can use your hacking skill to unlock it for some ammo, which is also locked because obviously. But yeah, if you're running low on energy cells or microfusion cells, it's worth doing a favour for wee Agatha and coming here. Get some Radaway, some stim packs. Some railway spikes if you've made the railway rifle. More railway spikes. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much everything, you know, in terms of the story of Vault 92. So obviously the experiment was focused on using sound and kind of white noise to influence people, and essentially the real goal was to create sort of sleeper agents, essentially. You know, and given how excited the Overseer was with the first guy that went nuts and, you know, killed 3 people with his bare hands, and then it took, you know, 23 bullets to bring him down from security. So, you know, it's not great, really, from the point of view of the why the quest markers tell me I'm going that way. Yeah, so not great from the point of view of the residents of the vault or anything, but you know, the fact that they deliberately chose people who, it was obviously like sound engineers and musicians, so all people who would have a good ear for sound and a good understanding of things and how music works and all that kind of stuff, and then they wanted to turn them into these sleeper agents, and surprise surprise, everything goes wrong. And I'm guessing since the doors open, some people made it out of the vault, but obviously we found a lot of skeletons as well, so there's a lot of people that didn't make it out of the vault, and now the creatures moved in. There's bloatflies on the upper levels and mirelurks on the lower levels, because the water got in, you know, the wall collapsed in the deeper part of the vault, which the engineering guy said was going to happen. And again, it's pointing towards, you know, how Vault-Tec are all like, yep, we're going to make these vaults and we're going to save everybody's lives, and, you know, we're so technologically advanced and things. But in some places, the, you know, the sort of structural integrity of the vault isn't really quite what it should be, and what the residents would really have a right to expect it to be. You know, I mean, even in other vaults that are still functional, you still sometimes have radroach infestations and things like that, so there's obviously, it's not always as good as it should be. But, you know, we had this Professor Malleus, who's obviously the kind of lead scientist who was doing all this, and he was under the impression that they were using the white noise while people were in the recording booths and recording studios playing music. And it was only after he found out that actually the overseer was using experiments on the whole vault during sleep, and that's why it was affecting so many people and things were all going a bit to hell. And then we saw in the overseer's terminal that he ended up losing control of the situation entirely, and then it all just kind of went to hell and a lot of people died. So the story of most of the vaults really is that everything went to hell and everybody died, but the violin survived at least, so that's something. But yeah, Vault 92, again, it's another one of these vaults where it's a kind of experiment that at first maybe doesn't sound too bad, but then you see the consequences of it realised, and now this vault's just left to rust away essentially. And it's unlikely that many people, you would think, in the world would stumble across it, because we're right outside Old Olney, which, if you don't know, is Deathclaw Central in Fallout 3. It's a town that's absolutely chock full of deathclaws. So yeah, not a nice, safe, cosy place, but we have acquired the Stradivarius, the violin, so we're going to go and give that to Agatha. And
You have the violin?
yes,
You've done it!
I have. I'm going to make this lady's day.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Seems like you've been gone forever. Please tell me you have good news.
Here you go.
Oh, my goodness. I must see it, please. Oh, my. It's more beautiful than I could have ever imagined. I can't thank you enough. I wish I had something to give you, a more suitable reward for all your efforts. All I can give you is the frequency to my radio set. Tune in whenever you feel like listening to the strains of an old woman's violin playing.
Okay, we also get some karma there. And that completes this little side quest, Agatha's song.
Tamper
which
with
is...
that, and we're going to have a problem.
No, I'm looking at your radio set. Chill. And you can, I believe, you can find some sheet music and bring it to her, if dotted around the wasteland, and I think that increases the number of songs that she can play. But yep, we step outside, Agatha's signal found, so now on your radio.
Just a word to my wasteland friends out there. Stay safe, stay healthy, and above all, stay happy.
Okay, I'm not going to let that play too long just in case of copyright issues, but yeah, so now that you've done that, you've got a new radio station, Agatha's station, so you can listen to Agatha and her brand new violin whenever you like. I say you can use a speech check to push her to give you her husband's old gun, but that feels a bit mean to me because she's a wee old lady and she's living here on her own in the wasteland. I would rather she had a way of defending herself at least. But yeah, and that kind of finishes off that quest for Vault 92. So, you know, at least there's something positive came out of all of that. You know, it's just the usual Vault story of death and destruction and, you know, some people potentially suffering the consequences of their actions. And if you haven't realised it by now, then, you know, we know that Vault-Tec is not an ethical company. They don't care. They honestly just don't even care if a bunch of people die. Their vaults were never really there to save anyone, with perhaps the exception of Vault 31 and a few others. But for the most part, that's what it was about. It was doing these experiments on people and sort of seeing what would happen. And, you know, it's a question of who's collecting this data, and are they going to make use of this data in any meaningful way, or are they just, let's see what happens when we lock up a bunch of people and do experiments on them and see what happens, kind of thing. But that was Vault 92, so bit of a tragic ending for a lot of people, although the sound tech guy and Hilda obviously seemed to be quite happy for a little while, so that's something. And we did retrieve probably one of a kind, you know, expensive fancy violin that is in a special case that preserved it and kept it from degrading, because I mean these instruments are quite sensitive, and you know, any kind of excessive humidity or, you know, heat damage or something could basically destroy them. And, you know, even in the real world, I think the nicest ones are, you know, cost thousands and thousands to buy and to replace. And in this world, nobody's making violins, nobody's making, you know, fancy string instruments or you know, musical instruments or anything like that, as very few people will be making any kind of instruments, never mind the, you know, the proper kind of fancy ones. It's just not something, you know, when the world's destroyed like this, it's all about really just kind of getting what you need to survive, and for most people musical instruments aren't going to be high on that list. So you know, it's a nice wee thing that you can do for a wee old lady who's on her own, and all she's really got to trade with other people is music. So it's quite a nice wee story. You can, if you want to be really, really mean, you can take the violin and you can sell it to I think it's Abraham Washington in Rivet City, the man that buys the Declaration of Independence and stuff. I have a feeling he's willing to buy it, although I don't think he really appreciates the value of it quite like Agatha does. You know, she wants it because she wants to use it to play music for the caravanners that trade with her and keep her supplied, and for herself as well, because, you know, her husband died, so she's kind of on her own out here, you know, cut off from the kind of vestiges of society that are still here, other than the traders and you, if you happen to stumble across Agatha's place. So, you know, playing the music and things is probably something that's keeping her going as much as it's keeping the traders going. And that is important because, again, it's something that when it comes to survival situations and this kind of thing, is that everybody thinks about getting, you know, shelter and food and water and, you know, defence and having a weapon for, you know, whatever threats might come your way and all that kind of stuff. But mental health is important, and it's important for everybody, and having something, you know, that maybe isn't essential for survival, but something that's going to help keep you sane and keep you entertained, you know, whatever form that might be, if it's art, music, whatever it is, that just having something in your life that you do just for the sheer pleasure of it, you know, like playing video games or crocheting or knitting or writing, whatever that might be, having something like that, it really does help to keep you sane and keep your, you know, keep your mind busy. So it's you know, it's an important thing, I think, and I think it's a really nice little side quest to do, just to get this violin for this wee old lady, and then she'll play music and you can listen to music. If you get tired of you know, the ink spots and whatnot, then you've got another option for the radio and stuff. So it's quite a nice one, and I say Vault 92 is quite interesting because it's, I think, the first time really that, you know, we see the mirelurks, and it illustrates something about the mirelurks, which I will be talking about when I get on to doing that part of the Science of Fallout series, is that the mirelurks do seem to be extremely sensitive to high frequency sounds. So when you do that noise flush in the vault of the white noise, and it's almost at a frequency just at the top end of the range of human hearing, and maybe a wee bit higher than what humans can hear, but it killed all the mirelurks. And you see the same thing if you ventured over to Spectacle Island in Fallout 4. Once you deal with the mirelurks there, the mirelurk queen, and you switch on the power to it, and it produces a extremely high frequency noise that, again, you can't hear, humans can't hear it, but it drives the mirelurks away. And it shows that they can be affected by that noise. A similar thing happens in New Vegas when you're dealing with the ants for the boomers, that Loyal gives you a sonic emitter that again makes a noise that kills all the ants because it overloads their senses basically. So it's something that is known in some insect species and things, and some animals are more sensitive to noise than we are. So, you know, it does give a good demonstration of that and how sound can have an impact even if you're not aware of it. Because there are, I mean, you know, there's rumours about the brown note, which is the supposed to be a really low frequency note that resonates with your bowels and makes you have an accident. And it's been kind of proven that that note doesn't exist, but there are tones and there's frequencies of sound that we can't hear, but it still has an effect on your nervous system. So you know, it's noise that you don't hear it as sound, but you just feel kind of anxious for no reason, and your heart rate goes up a wee bit, and it makes you feel quite anxious, and you might not really know why that's the case. So it could, you know, and that's something that even though your ears can't pick up that it's a sound, it's potentially still interacting with your nervous system in a way that is triggering things, and you know, that making you feel a bit anxious for no reason. So it's an interesting one, but I think I've talked long enough. I say I've forgot I'm actually still wearing the Antagonizer outfit on this save file. But that was Vault 92, and we've done a really nice thing for Agatha here as well, and we've got ourselves a new radio station for our troubles. So not sure if that really adequately compensates for trekking into Old Olney and killing a bunch of mirelurks and bloatflies, but you know, if you want to do a nice thing for a nice wee old lady, then there you go. So that is Vault 92, so that's all the kind of side vaults of Fallout 3 covered, but there is 3 that are obviously in the main plot thread. You've got Vault 101 where you start the game, we've got Vault 112 where we go to find Dad, and then we've got Vault 87 where we go to find the Gek. So stay tuned, because there's more horrors to come. There's more horrors to come, especially when we get to Vault 87. That's a doozy. So lots more to explore, and then we've still got more vaults. There's quite a few in New Vegas and a few in Fallout 4 as well that are interesting enough to explore, so we will get to them very shortly. I have no idea what this idling camera is doing. It seems to be having some fun to itself and getting stuck in cliffs, so I'm going to sign off for now, but hopefully you found this interesting, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on if you've got a favourite vault, if there's an experiment in particular that you find really interesting or particularly horrifying. What do you think about the ethics of Vault-Tec doing this, and do you think that Vault-Tec are actually collecting any data from all of this, and what they might be doing with that data? Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you liked the video, a little like goes a long way, and if you want to hear more and learn more of this kind of deep dive into the Fallout universe, hit subscribe and stick around, because I've got plenty more to come. Bye.